What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp. It is April 10th, almost April 11th. It is Saturday night, and it is WrestleMania Saturday night. We're here to give you our night one review here at Fightful.com, YouTube.com/Fightful, podcast platforms everywhere, and of course, FightfulSelect.com. That's where we go to break all of our news. We've got a new podcast there every single day. One of which, actually two of which, hosted by this fella to the right of me on the screen, Alex Pawlowski, who now on Tuesdays will host the post NXT review, the Sour Graps review. Alex, how you doing?
Yes, I'm doing very well. Tuesdays, I will be going live at 10 Eastern directly after NXT, which will be followed up on Fightful Select with my Raw show, which usually goes about an hour and 50 minutes. So I've booked myself. This was my choice. I said, yes, I want to do this because I'm insane. I said, I'm going to do 3 hours of podcast starting at 10 Eastern. I need to be committed.
Jeremy, why do you think Alex does so many shows? Could it be his love of something?
Love of this business? Yes.
Jeremy Lambert's talking about this business over on twitch.tv/Fightful Gaming all the time, as well as the Distraction podcast. He is on Fridays with me post SmackDown, and he's our lead wrestling writer. Jeremy, how you doing?
I'm well. I'm tired. I'm going to be up for another 3 hours doing stuff. I'm here, Sean.
If we're lucky. If we're lucky, 3 hours. I know you were up watching the same show at like 4 a.m. last night that I was.
I was watching Lucid Dreams. Yeah. Leo Rush and Low-Key wrestling at 3 a.m. Like, what are we doing? Sure. Let's go.
Well, this isn't the only podcast talent that we have on the show. Robert DeFelice joins me on Wednesdays. Had been the Wednesday Night War. Now every Wednesday, 10 p.m. Eastern, we have the post AEW podcast. Alex will be joining that literally whenever he wants as well. Robert, how you doing?
I'm doing as well as Tampa will allow me to do, Sean. You know, the weather here is pretty crazy.
Oh, so let's go ahead and talk about it. Now, the weather delayed a lot of things. It started to rain at about 5:30. I had a lot of correspondents there that were telling me they're making us evacuate. They're doing this. If you want the blow-by-blow, guys, it's on FightfulSelect.com. But geez, it was looking hairy, and it did get hairy because as soon as the show started, they hit us and said, we got a weather delay. Now, our show went live about 10 minutes after WrestleMania concluded. It's 11:53 at this moment. They had until midnight. That was per the contract that John Alba revealed. They had to go out there and cut emergency promos, and Alex's marching forehead says, who cut the best emergency promo tonight? I'm going to have to go with New Day, but Alex, how do you think?
It was either Big E or Kevin Owens. Like, as soon as Kevin Owens says, I met Sami Zayn in the summer of 2002, I was like, if the rain delay is an hour, I am here for all of this promo.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's either one of those two.
Go around the horn. Jeremy?
I will lie and say New Day. The truth is I was dealing with a pizza situation, and I'm glad the show got delayed because it was a rough start to the show for me too, Sean. So I'm glad the delay happened.
Rob Reed says, next time there's a rain out, just hand Kevin Owens a mic and tell him to go off. So here's a point I brought up, Robert. WWE spends all their time, okay, not all their time, spends a lot of time making their interviewers robots. Then this happens and they say, hey, go out there, do your best, enjoy. It's a little frustrating.
You know, Paul Heyman spoke to the Sports Media podcast and basically predicted this. So Paul Heyman not getting a microphone was very surprising. But I'm going to go with Seth Rollins because Seth Rollins seemed amped and ready for this to happen.
Guys, a reminder, get in your super chats. We already have a ton, and we will get to every single one of them. I'm taking them all down as they happen, but we had about 40 minutes of this, and I thought that the intro was really good. You had all the wrestlers out on the stage, and you can say what you want about Vince McMahon. He knows how to introduce a WrestleMania, and Robert, I think this is going to be one of those that gets played for probably decades to come. Like in the reels for WrestleMania, you're going to hear Vince McMahon on this night saying, welcome to WrestleMania.
Yes, this was a great moment. Vince had to be the first one to say something. I think it was only right. I also noticed that they changed their signature to say, then, now, together, forever. So that's sticking around, which is interesting.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Was the Fiend on stage during this?
Jinder was in his gear.
Jinder was in his gear, and so was Mia Yim. Like a lot of Jinder was in his gear behind Rhea Ripley, who was crying during the America the Beautiful. And I was like, oh my God, if they just spoiled that Jinder is going to attack Drew to cost him the match to begin a non-title feud because Jinder out of nowhere is in his gear, that's crazy. But a bunch of people were in their gear too.
Yeah, always bring your gear. We were debating on the watch along. Somebody said they saw Alexa Bliss. I was like, the Fiend's got the burnt Fiend out there clapping. Like, yeah, we're back. Very disappointing.
There are a lot of people. Bryant Heath says, I cried hard during that intro. Let me tell you, hearing people just made me so happy. JJ Lee says the 24 for WrestleMania will be wild and Bad Bunny for Bloodsport. Oh, Alex, if we know one thing, WWE can make a good documentary, and they're going to make some good documentaries about what happened tonight.
Oh, absolutely. Also, like in 15 years, they'll tell the story as though they ended the pandemic by having this WrestleMania. Like that's what they're going to tell the story as. And it's a huge deal. Like this is a major deal to have. Like WrestleMania feels like a cultural touchstone. Whether or not you follow wrestling, everybody knows what WrestleMania is, and people are going to like WrestleMania was this weekend. Did they have fans at it? And people will Google it and see Vince giving that intro with the fans in the audience with all the fireworks, and they go, "Well, damn," So we'll see.
AJ Lee says night one kind of ruled besides one match. Well done, WWE. Mayo on Rice says WrestleMania night one has been great. I mean, I thought every match was at least decent. Every one of them was at least decent, especially grading on, as Alex said, the WWE curve. And considering this is one of the worst built WrestleManias ever, if not the worst, all the matches delivered. And I'm pretty sure all of us on our respective shows predicted as much. Yeah. This is the most talented roster to ever exist, but it's just a matter of the build. Alex, when all was said and done, how did you feel about watching this?
I was so happy for the performers, because the creative going into this WrestleMania has been among the worst we've ever seen. And they said, damn it all, I'm going out there and for the fans, because that's why a lot of these people, they do this for that interaction. Yeah. Like speaking as somebody who was a stage actor for a decade, there's nothing in the world like the connection between the performer to the audience and the audience back to the performer. Getting that live reaction is something that I miss it all the time. It's so ingrained in you as a live performer to have gone without it for a year basically, and to have it back. They were not going to disappoint those fans who were out there. They just weren't, and they went out there and gave it their all, and I was so happy for them.
I was talking to my wife before this. Alex, you and I have reviewed shows for
almost 5 years.
Almost 5 years together. Yeah. And for the last year, a crowd reaction has factored not a bit into that. And that has changed so much in how we review things. We have some more super chats out of the gate. Joe Cook says, what a great night one. Looking forward to tomorrow night's matches for sure. And Alec Farmer says, an amazing show. Hype for tomorrow. Anakin says, what was up with Owen's mic? I didn't know. I was also dealing with a pizza situation. Robert, did you notice anything particular about Owen's mic?
I did not notice. I wasn't dealing with a pizza situation, but I was tied up with something else. But Owens is good. He can cut out a promo.
It sounded like he was being abducted by aliens. Like it wasn't
his fault.
Maybe it was. Yeah.
You never know.
I've seen crazier things happen on WWE television.
Ghost pirates. I mean that's a thing. So it could have happened there in Tampa.
Yeah,
and it is Florida. Like it'll happen.
Yeah.
Ryan B. James says, wasted a first interest on Titus and Hogan instead of going straight to Drew. What was the point of Hogan? And I mean, literally, Titus did not need him. Titus had that crowd all hyped out there.
Yeah. And
did they do anything else as hosts?
Nope. They're good. They're going to do the same thing tomorrow, I guess. Like they said, they actually, when they were promoing, talking about everything that's going to happen on night 2, they were like, don't forget, co-hosts back again tomorrow to do nothing again, I guess.
Sean, I've been asking what the point of Hogan is for about 15 years now on WWE television. So if you got an answer, let me know.
I don't. I've asked. Bid Moon says, SRS, the GOAT, Bad Bunny is better than Cody. We won't go that far, but Anakin JMT says, Mia with no mask and no title had me conflicted. Yeah.
Up, down, down champ.
Yeah, I watched that today. That was very entertaining.
Oh, it's
that
so
was
good.
very entertaining.
So good.
Talk about entertaining. Wow. Bobby Lashley defeated Drew McIntyre to retain the title. Now, they had played off the cold open. We had America the Beautiful and all that, but we're ready to get into some wrestling. We're 10 minutes into this show. Get your super chats in. Please leave us a thumbs up if you're watching. That helps us an awful lot. So at one point, I actually thought this match was going to take place backstage. I thought, oh no, they're going to kill time by doing this. Because Drew was like, we'll do it back here if you want to. Robert, did you have those same fears as I?
No, the entire year has been built to Drew walks out first. He welcomes the fans back. I did think they would fight, maybe just to get the crowd hyped and get the home audience hyped. But no, I didn't think they'd actually have the match backstage.
I really thought they were going that route. I'm glad they didn't. Drew got a good reaction. A lot of people thought he was going to get booed. Lashley got a bit of a mixed reaction. But Alex, this is what we came to see. Two sirloin beef sons of bitches doing those sons of bitches things. And Drew doing things like the Tope Con Hero that he should really only do in matches like this. Why are you grimacing, Jeremy?
He parted the Red Sea on that one. I mean, it was good, but oh boy, his back aided on that one.
MVP thought better of it.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. Exactly.
Aren't I crippled in storyline?
Yeah.
In kayfabe, shouldn't I try to get out of the way? I think I'm going to do that, just for storyline purposes.
Look rough.
Brody asks if any of the matches got shortened. I don't think so. But I'm going to ask tonight. There's a lot of that stuff that I'm not sure. I'm not sure yet, and I will find out. But this match was it was Drew doing a lot of suplexes and throwing people around a lot. Him doing the Bama Slamma, as we call it, on Lashley is a big boy move. Him kipping up after that big spine buster, that looked like superstar stuff to me, Alex.
Oh yeah, no, these guys killed it. Like this was the match that we wanted to see. This was, it's weird that we forget, but during the pandemic era, they had a one-on-one title match. And the whole thing was built around Lana being a bad wife and manager. And she obviously it was only because she got involved did Lashley lose. And Lashley never even asked for a rematch. And they finally get back around to having them have an honest to God feud for the title at Mania. I'm glad they actually did it again because I think these guys have great chemistry. The only thing I didn't like about this match was the finish, which I thought was bad.
I think they could have done better with the finish. Shanika says, big meaty men slapping meat. That's what we came to see. That's why we watch wrestling.
That's right.
Tremaine says Drew and Lashley slapping meat. And Alva says that the rain delay made wrestling or WrestleMania feel like a real sporting event. Well, then AEW should start doing them. They want that real sports feel. I want to hear about exit velocity whenever Marco Stunt gets thrown by someone too. But they don't do it. They don't do it. So as far as distraction finishes go, this is way better than what WWE usually does, but I still loathe them. Like usually it's music hits and elite wrestler goes, huh? What? And gets rolled up. This was Drew McIntyre looking off to the side for like half a second, and that's it. You can't give Bobby Lashley that. And he passes out. How did you feel about that, Robert? Because again, I don't like it, but it's one of those things. It's like I got to grade it on the WWE curve.
I think he should have just missed, and Lashley could have taken advantage.
There you go.
Made Lashley look better. Would have made Drew look better. The spot was awkward in that he stopped midway. Lashley had dropped before he even picked up the foot, so it made him look, he didn't look the smartest. So I think he should have just missed and Lashley take advantage.
That's fair too. I think there's a lot more story opportunity with Drew McIntyre losing. Jeremy, any thoughts on that?
There definitely is. I'm glad Lashley won. I didn't mind the distraction finish, honestly. At least it wasn't a roll-up.
Well, it's part of your brand.
Yeah.
Very true. They love plugging my show. Yeah. But I thought it made sense. Like if MVP's gonna be there, get involved a little bit. If Drew's gonna be, I'm not the biggest Drew fan in the world anyway. So if he's gonna be kind of stupid and fall for that and then still run and miss, that's on him. And I thought I liked the finish because maybe it made Drew look a little bit bad, but then he passed out from the master lock or the Hurt Business lock, and so it protected him a little bit. I like the finish. Y'all are haters.
I think the thing about it is, for me, is like I've come to kind of a rule. If you're in the middle of a championship match at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship that got stolen from you, from the guy across from you, his manager hopping up on the apron shouldn't stop you and make you look at him. Like, you should be laser focused on the dude you've got a pin to get your championship backs. And as soon as you start looking on the apron because the manager jumps up there, then you're dumb. And like, I don't want the guy to be dumb. I want, like, the idea of the distraction finish protecting somebody. Like, it doesn't protect them. It makes them look like an idiot. And, and like that doesn't protect him. Passing out in the hurt lock, that protects him. You don't have to protect him twice. If you think of protecting him by having him by being distracted during a match that he's been preparing for his whole life, that doesn't make him look good. It makes him look bad.
This one's way different than the ones I usually see, though. I see so many every week from WWE, and this is, he just moved his head. That's it. He didn't go and chase and do the, I'm going to bounce off the ropes and get rolled up thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I thought it was, also, as somebody who has either by forced or because I hate myself, watched every TNA and Impact episode ever. I love some of the nods to their Impact work. Like, there were things that they would pull out and use there. We had Zach Barber say Drew not getting his moment was like a big double middle finger after carrying Raw through the pandemic. He got his moment last year and held the title for a long time. He shouldn't have lost to Orton that last time. If he was going to lose the title to Orton, should have been at SummerSlam when Orton was white hot. But no, he had a great WrestleMania championship match and was the first match back after 1 year. After 1 year. Ryan B. Jam says, I had a feeling Drew wasn't going to win tonight because people were starting to get bored of him during his feud with Orton in his second title run. Well, that ain't his fault, buddy.
No, not.
That is not his fault.
I thought he was going to lose when they made this match go on first.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to have the heel win the first match of the night and then build back goodwill to the people rather than, you got to send them home happy, as the saying goes.
Rob Reed said he was completely shocked with the Lashley win. He expected McIntyre to win. I thought that they would wait until they were out in the ring and then somebody would send what the finish was up front. Like, they would have a couple decided.
That'd be nice if they still did that all more often.
Yeah, and I mean, this is definitely a different situation than all that. And you know what, guys? If you're looking to get a new sleep situation, our friend, look, Robert's here with me. Our friends at helixsleep.com/Fightful can help you out. I love this stuff. I got to maximize my sleep on weeks like this because I love this business. And helixsleep.com/Fightful has changed my life. I used to sleep on one of those memory foam slabs. I just didn't realize the bad quality of sleep I was getting. I got helixsleep.com/Fightful. I took their quiz. I was matched up with the Dusk Lux mattress, and I hit them up. I was like, I would love to work with you guys. It's that good. Everybody's unique. Helix knows that. They have several different mattress models to choose from, soft, medium, and firm. They have ones that cool you down if you sleep hot, and they have a Helix Plus for plus size folks. So if you're looking for a mattress, you take the quiz, you get the one you're matched to, and it comes right to your door, shipped for free. You don't have to go to a mattress store again, and that was important to me. I did not, in the middle of a pandemic, want to go to a mattress store and roll around on something a bunch of other goofballs like me were doing. But I wanted to know I got the right mattress. helixsleep.com/Fightful. Take their 2-minute quiz. They'll match you to a customized mattress that gives you the best sleep of your life. It is the top overall mattress pick of 2020 by GQ and Wired magazine. And how about this? Fightful magazine is giving it the top pick too. Whoa. I bet they're going to love that. Fightful magazine just launched. I'm naming Helix Sleep the top mattress pick. And they have a 10-year warranty. You get to try it out for 100 nights risk-free. And if you don't like it, they'll pick it up for you.
And this is a reality. Memory foam sucks.
It does.
And you should try this out because currently sleeping on a memory foam, and it's not great.
It's not great. And you know what, Bob? What's
you
can save up to $200 off of all mattresses and get 2 free pillows for our listeners at helixsleep.com/Fightful. That's helixsleep.com/Fightful. Fightful. We thank them. I'm so excited to work with them through 2021. Whoo boy, I'm going to rest easy tonight. Ryan Martin says, with Bobby winning, do you think this could lead to Brock coming back at Raw? Also, Bianca is really over with the crowd. She had a great reaction. Well, they protected her for years, so that she should be. And George Yamin says, I feel they might send Drew to SmackDown. Do you guys think, one, Brock's coming back? I think he should if you're building to a big match. Will they send Drew to SmackDown? That kind of seems like he's running away type of thing, but a lot of people speculating about a shakeup. Jeremy, what do you think?
I don't think they're going to do a shakeup. I don't think they're going to do it this early. Bold prediction:
Sure.
Brock does come back tomorrow. I'll throw that out there.
That'd be cool. Or do you mean do we say tomorrow or Raw after Mania?
Oh, Raw after Mania. I'm sorry. It feels like Sunday. I'm not used to this.
It does. I made that mistake so many times. Yeah. What are you eating during this show?
Snickers.
It's the sponsor of WrestleMania.
Son of a.
So you can't get mad at him. It's a cross promotion.
Snickers does satisfy, Sean.
I had one the other day.
I'm really fucking good at this, Sean Ross.
Jesus. Tag team turmoil. Natalya and Tamina win. Carmella's gear rules. Billie Kay rules. I love Naomi's disaster kick. That is finisher quality. But Billie Kay gets a WrestleMania moment, I guess. The work is not smooth when she's in there with the Riot Squad, and they end up pinning her. But Carmella super kicks them. And then, unfortunately, Mandy Rose busts her ass.
Damn, man.
Shades of Ultimo Dragon. What a bummer.
I can't believe they didn't have like a crew of guys with towels before every entrance.
They did right after. They sent them out there.
That's good after. But how about before? Because she could add a bruised tailbone. Like somebody could have like ruptured an Achilles out there. Like wet is not good for wrestling boots, I'm assuming.
It is not. It's not. But I thought their work was pretty good. The Riot Squad are outstanding. Mandy did a really good inside-out gut wrench suplex. I liked the cradle pin, but I hate that like somebody gets absolutely squished, and then they're like, cradle pin. Mm-hmm. Have her miss it and cradle her or something. So Riot Squad win there, and they get beaten by Tamina and Natalya. Natalya teased the sharpshooter, then was like, no. Splash.
It's your time, Tamina. This is your time.
She should have put her in it, done a tag, and then Tamina splashed her while she was in it.
Oh, yeah, that'd be good.
So, by the way, Ray Callahan says, love my new Helix. Thanks, Sean. Well, I'm glad that you love it. But J.K. Schwal says, Lambert effing rules. And we have Dev saying, as a longtime women's wrestling fan, it's nice to see Tamina get a WrestleMania win and probably another one tomorrow. But why? Robert, you want to answer this one for us? Because I don't know.
Sean, you're the one with the scoops, and then you toss it to me like if I would know why after 10 years. I'm sorry, 11 years at this point. They've decided now is the time to run with the Usos, run with Natalya, and run with Tamina. I don't get it. I will say this. I'm doubling down. I know no Bellas tonight. I think the Bellas pull off something tomorrow because there's no way you expect me to believe Nia and Shayna against Natalya and Tamina is what we're going for. Bella Twins win.
Notes app Natty got it done. She decided, well, you know what I'm going to do? Everyone look at me. I'm demanding more. And she got it because, she's a heart. I don't know if you know this, but she's a heart. And
well, at least she didn't have Teddy around. That's an improvement. He was trying to get wrestlers to WhatsApp him $6,000 and their social security number.
Of course. That's because that's what you do. This was the worst match of the night. There was some stuff that wasn't good about it at all. Poor Naomi, the most organically over woman they have on the roster, just because people love her. They don't do anything to help her, so she does it all on her own, and they'll never actually follow through with helping her. So she gets pinned first, of course. Mandy with the extensions, like you can't do that to me. You guys can't wear matching gear and have hair the same color, the same length, because I have no idea who was legal. I'm sorry, ladies. You're the same shade of skin as well, same bronzer. I think that Natty and Tamina was the only option because of how they've been booking them as absolute monsters on SmackDown. Now, I agree. It doesn't make any sense for them to have a match versus Nia and Shayna tomorrow, but they've been protecting Nia so much. I feel like they're going to lose the title belts. She's going to blame it on Shayna, wreck Shayna, because she's going to make me really happy, I'm sure. And then Nia versus Rhea Ripley is your next big women's the thing on Raw. That's probably what they're going to do.
Now, that's what I called. That's what I predicted. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I do believe that there is an individual in this panel right now that wrote the article about Tamina and Nia Jax being as big as Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant.
Well, Zach is with you, Bobo. He says there's got to be a surprise for the women's tag tomorrow, right? So I was told by someone who is in our chat, Bella's ain't going to be in the gauntlet or the turmoil. And I was like, God, really? And then I started to ask, and people were like, well, yeah, we really believe that Nikki isn't cleared, which, appeases Jeremy. Not because he's happy that she isn't cleared, but he wants to trust her. Yeah. So there you go. And Hannah says, why? Because they want The Rock to come back for a match against Roman. They gave him his family everything. If The Rock's his breaking point is
he's like, I ain't coming back unless we're doing Tamina and Nia at WrestleMania.
These are his negotiations. Here is my list of demands. Yeah. Tamina has to become tag champ. That's some hell of stuff, man.
This is obviously the most underwhelming match of the show so far. Tyler Kane says odds of a Becky appearance tomorrow or Monday. If it's it'd be tomorrow. It wouldn't be Monday. They're not going to do it without audience.
She said night 1 in her Instagram post, so she's already trolling us.
And then she just posted one saying night 2, and then she goes, "Just kidding. Congratulations, Sasha and Bianca. Way to make history." Yeah. To me, she's like, if you do that too many times, you're the girl who cried wolf. I don't think that's a good thing.
It's the whole thing is that now, if she doesn't do anything, then it's definitely going to happen.
Well, I think it will. But Nerd Guru says Becky Lynch remains undefeated in trolling. Her last tweet supported her fellow women's main eventers. I hold out hope for a night 2 return. So will I. Hannah says he bought Tamina a damn car. He loves that woman. Yes, he does.
Which is great, but not worth the women's tag titles being sacrificed.
He bought Harvey Whippleman a damn car. The man he's tossing him out like he's Oprah or something.
Yeah. Aaron H says, say what you want, but Corbin is a guilty pleasure for me. I popped for that commercial. It was a good commercial. I thought it was funny.
He hasn't been a hardcore biker since 2017, but it's true.
Sure.
Good commercial.
Our friend Rafael Garcia says 5 of the 7 matches tonight featured people of color, and all 3 title matches featured black champions entering and leaving with titles. Representation matters. It does, and it should have to WWE a long time ago.
Before now, yep.
They made Jinder Mahal champion, and you're gonna tell me that Shelton Benjamin couldn't get there in the mid 2000s because he couldn't cut a promo. I can't be convinced of that anymore. I can't. It should have a long time ago. By the way, guys, I've been told we do have Twitch things to read, and we're going to read those at the end. Correct, Jeremy?
Yes, I'll read it. If you send in bits on Twitch, if you subscribe, gift subs, or follow, I'll read everything at the end. But
kiss my bits.
Thank you guys for the support on Twitch.
Brandon Charles Powell says it's a shame Bayley didn't wrestle, but she was excellent in the role they gave her. Still holding out for Ding Dong Hello segment with the man walking through the door. I think we all can just do WWE's The Bump nod if we agree with that. Me too. I want that. It makes a lot of sense. It'd be a WrestleMania moment. She was hilarious backstage with NWO, and I don't know if they were all supposed to leave her hanging, but Sean Waltman being like, I'm actually a big fan of yours, and fist bumping her.
I thought Titus was going to. It looked like she was really trying to tell Titus, come on, dude. You're really going to do this to me? I understand these old dudes, but you, come on.
Yes. Ducking Llama says, did you see the picture of the water pooling on the tarp over the ring? Seeing that gave me immediate anxiety. Boy, you want to talk about a WrestleMania moment, though. And it would have to. Here's the thing. It would so happen during Braun and Shane.
Yeah.
And it would be great.
Yep.
It would be so great. Well, we had Cesaro versus Rollins, and boy, did this match Hump.
Man, I'm so good.
Jeremy, you got the honors. You've been tooting the horn of Seth Rollins forever. He got a great pop. This was they might as well have been in Reseda for this one.
Yeah.
Like there were some cool spots, a 360 frog splash, a tilt-a-whirl into the neutralizer. He busted out the pedigree. He is Rollins, pronouns pal. And Cesaro doing the UFO.
Yeah.
Man, we had a super chat and somebody said they popped for that. Jeremy.
I've been saying it for months, Sean. The vision. You guys got to embrace the vision. And Seth Rollins, he delivered. Delivered like I knew the Messiah would deliver. Cesaro's never had a match like that. He's never had a match like wait, Cesaro had a WrestleMania
Go to
match
hell.
like that. Seth Rollins, the Messiah, carrying men to great matches at WrestleMania like he's always done his entire career, carrying men to great matches. Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton, other guys that he's carried in WrestleMania, carrying them all. Seth Rollins. I see you, Seth. I see my guy, Seth Rollins.
Whew, the curb stomp into the European uppercut was so dope.
Oh,
the
man,
UFO. Peter Davies sent the super chat and said him finally doing the UFO popped me big. Rob, it was so good because one of the things that Rollins built this feud on was you're not spinning me. So not only did he spin him, he spun him with no hands.
He spun him with no hands. He got him with 23 consecutive spins, 10 before that. So 33 spins altogether the traditional way, and additional maybe 5-10 with the UFO. That European uppercut was a thing of beauty. Best looking pedigree I've seen at WrestleMania in years. My God, this match was everything I wanted and more. I got to agree with Jeremy. I think Seth Rollins just carried Cesaro to the one WrestleMania moment he's going to have. Because let's be honest.
Triple H carried Triple H too.
They're gonna hang this on Cesaro's career for the rest of all the time, and he'll never do anything ever again. They'll say, hey, he beat Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, and they'll run with that until he retires.
Alex, how'd you feel about this one? This was good. I mean, I think they wanted more of a Cesaro swing, even than what they got, but the ring's only 20 feet, 20 by 20. You run out of room at some point, and then the neutralizer hits. This was, and Seth bulletproof with those new political ads. Give me that.
Yeah. The thing that I always talk about on SmackDown is that it's really weird to have a heel character like Seth Rollins on SmackDown on the same show as uber heel Roman Reigns, and they have all that history together, and like you got to keep them separated at all costs because it would be like worlds colliding, like a time paradox would open up and we'd all be sucked into a wormhole because those guys cannot exist on the same show. So I don't know, like wherever you go with him, like keep him away from Roman and he's gold. But Cesaro, this was his moment. Like they built it up so that if they had somehow screwed over Cesaro and had him lose, even though he lost by cheating or something, it would have been ruined forever. Like the whole thing is like, well, he can't do it. He can't do it. This is his one opportunity. But waiting his whole life for it, it'd be so like WWE to be like, see, but he lost anyway. But they didn't. Like it was perfect. These guys. This was Tyler Black, man. This was like Seth Rollins going to his old roots. And I mean, he is the heel with the most babyface style there is, man.
His strikes tonight, too.
So good.
Like he did that hesitation kick and that elbow to the back of the head. Woo, boy. He's trying to get criticized by Bret Hart real hard right now, and I love it. I respect it.
Yeah.
Vincent says the Messiah has delivered a perfect gift to the masses. Embrace the vision. My favorite super chat of the night, Cyclops says, I can't tell when Jeremy's doing a bit anymore. And
apparently other people in the chat can't either.
Sean Ross's loyalist sapling says, sorry, Jeremy, but the last person who embraced vision ended up keeping the whole town of civilian hostage to cope. So I'll pass. Well, you know what? Maybe if Rey Mysterio would have embraced vision, he wouldn't have lost an eye. How about that?
He didn't embrace the vision, so he did lose an
I
eye.
know.
That's what happened.
Well, there you go.
But I'll say this, since that was a great super chat. WandaVision, hell of a show. Hell of a show.
Yes. Anakin says this match has to make up for Cesaro losing to Nicholas. I wouldn't go that far. That shouldn't happen. It really shouldn't happen.
It should not have happened.
And Matt McClure says, give him a main event run and give Rollins that Universal title. I would like to see Cesaro challenge for a title at WrestleMania. And if it works, or not at WrestleMania, at a pay-per-view, and if it works, maybe you rock with it. Everything's a product of the time and the environment and all that. I can think of far worse things than like Edge and Cesaro, or Edge or Cesaro and Daniel Bryan than
Cesaro
that.
And Reigns, man. Cesaro
That
Reigns.
too.
Let's go.
That too. Imagine him doing a
Roman
UFO
Reigns
to
is-
Reigns.
Roman Reigns is no Seth Rollins. I don't know if he can carry Cesaro to that good of a match, but I think Roman can do okay.
Oh man. Ray Callahan says, my brother actually bought the same red jacket Rollins used tonight. He's just started training, but grabbed that 2 months ago for his gimmick. I like it. We had here we go. It's Ryan B. Jam saying, not about Mania, but shout out to Alex, Queen of the Ring, for being on the Ultimate Mania thing tonight. Glad to see people like her and Denise getting recognized. Good on Denise, too. She was doing stuff with RJ City. I mean, not a religious man, but I certainly prayed for her when I saw that happening. Also, it's very clear that Peacock didn't Google RJ, or else our stuff would have came over. That would have automatically been edited out. And Queen of the Ring, our friend, says, Sean dressed up for this review. You love to see it. Every year for Mania, my friends. Not like these.
Listen,
Come back tomorrow. We'll do this
everywhere for it. I couldn't find my tuxedo T-shirt. I've worn it every year for Mania for the last 3 years, and I couldn't find it. It's somewhere.
I'm gonna go Baron Corbin on you guys. This is the $40,000 watch right
Do you
here.
not see this glove, Sean? Do you not see this?
I do
That's
see it.
That's a $42,000 glove.
Yes, it's true. Dan V says, I would like to see Cesaro challenge Roman for the Universal title, or even next month against Bryan. That's going to be there's a lot of things that I'm looking at and saying, oh, well, is that going to happen? Is that going to happen? Because Cesaro winning opens up a lot of things. However, WWE likes to do a thing where somebody loses at WrestleMania and they get a title shot. So
That's what should happen.
We got a bunch of super chats about Becky and Ronda. Marcus Ryan says maybe we get a ding dong hello segment, and that's when Becky or Ronda return. That's what I'm thinking, and that's what I'm hoping. And Chris says, what would you think if Charlotte and Ronda showed up as a tag team to win the belts? It'd be better than what they're doing now. Robert, any thoughts?
Yeah, I tweeted yesterday. I think it's ding dong hello. I think Becky shows up. I think Ronda shows up, and they say, we'll see you next year in Dallas. And they do it like Rock and Cena.
Oh, boy. Throwback sends a badass super chat. He says, do you see the possibility of a triple threat match with Becky if she returns tomorrow in the Bryan role, requesting a SmackDown title match? Belair and Banks was bloody awesome. Fantasy book Fatal 4-Way next Mania with all four horsewomen for one of the titles. Well, the horsewomen, Alex, to me is like a slam dunk WrestleMania main event. However, so was Rollins, Reigns, and Ambrose.
Mm-hmm.
And they just waited until that wasn't an option anymore.
Waited. Yep. Yeah.
Here's the thing. Now, not like this matters at all. Becky left technically a SmackDown star. She was on Raw because she was holding the Raw championship. When she won that championship, she was a SmackDown star and we're supposed to go back. But since then, we've had a draft and all that. She's a free agent. She can go wherever she wants.
And Rollins is on SmackDown, which is not a big deal since they're doing everything in the same space, but traditionally they've been on the same shows.
To me, I would think it would make a lot more sense if Rhea Ripley won and they just said, whatever we've done with Asuka, let's just please try to forget that as best we can. Rhea Ripley wins a whole lot, and then Becky Lynch says, you're doing a lot of the same things I was doing, and now I want this title. But what do you think about Becky, like if she comes back, hopefully tomorrow?
Becky, they'll do it in front of fans if they can. They're not going to wait until the Raw after Mania in front of screens, So I think that to me that's a thing. Like if Rhea wins, I don't want her moment to get stepped on, but her being out there and Becky coming back and saying, "Hey, that's a nice title belt that I never lost. I'd like it back, please." Like that's an amazing thing for them to say to Rhea Ripley as your new. Like this, of course, presupposes that she wins the title tomorrow, which for their track record with Rhea Ripley in WrestleMania is not great so far. They're 0 for 1, but if he wins it tomorrow, that would be a huge thing for Rhea. And yeah, Becky coming back, I think that's the place to go with it. If she goes to SmackDown, yeah, there's a very amazing thing there too. Bianca, I've been saying this whole time, the women's divisions in WWE on the main roster are the 4 horsewomen, and Asuka are your top 5, and they made a 6th tonight. Bianca is right there with the rest of them now. They can make a number 7 with Rhea tomorrow, and she'd be right there with the other ones. That's so much better than what it used to be, where it was just like, well, whoever. Like, no, this is it. These are your top 7 women.
And as we've seen, when Naomi, Carmella, Alexa Bliss, any of those people step in with those people, they have good matches.
Absolutely, and they have good title runs when they do too. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Throwback27, for that. Subscribe to his channel, youtube.com/throwback27. He does shows there all the time. So big thank you to him and for all the support that he shows us. He's doing stuff all the time over there. So show him some love because he's showing us an awful lot of love. And your super chat donations, guys, go a long way. Thank you very much. So does subscribing to FightfulSelect.com. I think I had like 4 or 5 different WrestleMania stories up there today, like the Bella Twins, Hall of Fame news, stuff about Rousey's contract. I had a thread as WrestleMania went on. So subscribe to FightfulSelect.com. We do 7 shows there a week. And that's not it. We got the Fightful magazine as well. Look at Robert reacting to this. Jimmy would kill me if we didn't promote FightfulMag.com, that cover story by that fella on the top. What are you drinking, Jeremy? How old are you? He's juicing on the air. He's juiced up. Oh my God. Fightfulmag.com. Some stuff from people that you know from Fightful. Taylor Hendricks, Molly Bell, myself, Alex Pawlowski, Joe Holbert, Brandon Howard. Jimmy Van does a lot of stuff in this issue. The first issue is a proof of concept digital edition. It'll be physical from now on. Check out FightfulMag.com, my friends. Oh boy. Jeremy. We got
what? It's a
we got to set up a
juice boxes.
I feel like we need to set up a secondary camera on you at all times. But AJ Styles,
I should start doing like a simulcast on Twitch.
Yes,
just
that's
like
what I mean.
On me. Okay.
Well, I got kicked off Facebook for calling somebody a racist pussy. So maybe you can start streaming.
Those are my least favorite kind of pussies.
I mean, yeah. Yeah. AJ Styles and Omos defeated New Day. Oh, Alex, I love Big E bringing them out because why not?
Why not?
Why wouldn't he?
Yeah. The thing about it was there was the whole like rain delay and the crazy like haphazard promos backstage like spoiled a couple of things. I don't think you should have had Drew and Lashley come face to face before they're actually in the ring to try and have a match against each other.
Yeah.
But that to me was a misstep. And although I love Big E's promo, like if he had come out of the blue, we hadn't seen him all night to introduce Xavier and Kofi, what a surprise that would have been, and the audience being able to like embrace that at that moment. I think that would have been even more impactful. But God, it is so good to see these guys back together again. It really is.
Jeremy's personality outrage says not only Mandy, AJ almost slipped on the ramp.
Yep.
Every time I think of that, I think of Ultimo Dragon, who, if I remember, signed with WWE so he could have a WrestleMania appearance, and then he slipped. Oh, man. Nerd Guru says, Omos is the GOAT to the moon with this legend. Well, I got to compliment WWE production, and I don't often do that. Their camera work helped this man an awful lot. It wasn't cut. It was tight shot, cut whenever he was slowing down, whenever you want to make him look faster. This was AJ working the lion's share of the match and them beating his ass. And the way that Omos got tagged in, it's like he was a babyface, even though he wasn't. Xavier flies off the top rope to try to stop AJ, and he can't. And Omos just looks at him. And then Omos dominated and pinned Kofi with 1 foot. Wow. Jeremy, how do you feel about this one? We're going to have to see more of them, but they did an awful good job accentuating the positives here.
I thought this was perfect. I love the phenomenal forearm off of his shoulders.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah. That was perfect. AJ did the bulk of the work. You knew Kofi and Xavier, once Omos got in there, they would make him look good. Like those are two pros right there. So they would make him look good, and they did. We definitely will have to see more of Omos. I don't think they're going to put him in too many tough spots this early, but they did a great job protecting him here, and AJ gets the title victory, Grand Slam champ now. So good for him.
That is true. Although I don't know, will that count to Ember Moon? Did you see where?
Yeah, I saw them when they were like Raquel Gonzalez first ever. I was like, wait a second. Didn't Ember
No. Did you see it was the documentary thing where she was like, the establishment of these tag titles means that all women's Grand Slam champions are null and void. And I was like, that's not how it works.
Yep.
I don't know.
Maybe that's Ember's law, but that ain't anybody else's law. That's for damn sure. We have Ray Callahan, or actually Anakin says, we're cutting the ring in half. That was good. He said it before Joe could, and I really, really like that. Ray says Styles and Omos versus Bunny and Priest for titles night 2.
But I pitched Bad Bunny and Omos WWE title next year. Make it happen.
If Bad Bunny wants to hang around till Money in the Bank, I think that'd be a fun thing. But Robert, what'd you think about this tag title match? New Day are bulletproof. They're going to win these titles 15, 16 times, and they should.
Yeah, it was weird to see them working the de facto heels because the crowd just really wanted to see Omos. And I've got one word for you when it comes to Omos: sponge. Triple H promised us a sponge, and he delivered. This guy was so much fun to watch. He's like a more athletic Great Khali, who is a Hall of Famer now. So the doors are open. Okay, this guy is great. Everything they did with him was flawless, and now he'll forever be a champion.
Oh man, Alex, any thoughts on this?
I thought it was all great. And me, like I'm in there watching in the moment, and I can't stop my brain from doing the thing of like, well, now how do you beat this guy eventually?
Yeah.
Like that's the thing that I'm like you made this guy into like the greatest tag team champions ever looked like babies in the ring next to him. So now what? Like, I think it's great in the moment. The moment is amazing. They book for moments. They don't do anything else. They have no idea who's going to take these titles off of AJ and Omos. They have no clue. But my thing is like, well, now you've booked yourself into a corner. Who do you possibly do that? Like, obviously, AJ has to be the one to take the pin because nobody's pinning this guy.
Yeah.
So there's things in the future to look for. But in the moment, my God, this was a home run. Like, I did not think Omos could do this.
What if they just like relinquish the titles because Omos has to go to fifth
Has to go
grade
back to
class
fourth grade, yeah,
or
that's right.
something? Yeah.
Throwback says Big E doing the entrance was a perfect touch for New Day. Nostalgia was amazing to have before this match. Rob Reed says, I made a Shawn Michaels Diesel reference a few months ago with AJ and Omos. I fully see a Diesel push in Omos's future as long as he improves from here. I don't.
I don't.
Kevin Nash does not get the credit that he deserves for being as good as he was. He was way better than a lot of people wanted to say. He, like his 95, he had some really, really good matches, and they knew that he could carry that. I don't think that that's
different times too.
Yes. Mike New York says, pops for Rude putting AJ over. Yep, indeed. And Throwback says, awesome watch along with an awesome review show. Thank you, Fightful, for making Mania cherry on the top of this Mania cake. 235 did something. That super chat, well worth it. Check out Fightful Select. Yeah, guys, twitch.tv/Fightful Gaming. If some of you are like, oh, I want more Impact coverage, there's Impact watch-alongs over there. There's all kinds of watch-alongs over there. It was, I hopped on there for a little bit tonight. It was a blast. It was a lot of fun over there. Nerd Guru says, if you don't think I didn't scream, feel the power in my living room to the dismay of my girlfriend, you'd be very wrong. Well, if you're a stupid person, tonight you got a victory. You got a victory. Braun Strowman 1-1 for the stupid people. And this was one of the worst builds that I have ever seen for a match. And Night Track says, this is for all the people that get called stupid. New shirt for Braun. He gets an I'm with stupid shirt, but says I'm with you because he fights for the stupid people of the world.
Good idea.
That's
And
great.
Tremaine says, why are you guys even talking about other matches? Braun was the best. I really enjoyed this match. Now, do I think that it's ridiculous that Jackson Riker is on a WrestleMania and Steve Cutler doesn't have a job and Wesley Blake sitting at home wasn't even in the Andre? Yeah, I think that's pretty bad. But Braun had some cool spots. He peeled the cage, which, Alex, this is the type of stuff that we were like, oh, this is what we love. This is what we love. You know, some stuff that he could catch a charge for.
Yeah.
But plausible deniability. He's got that new Jack in Beyond the Mad excuse. Yeah. Justifiable homicides. Running around with Barry Blaustein, covering everything. And the Shane spot was perhaps one of the cleanest, most straight up, you're just taking a bump off the top of the cages ever. This was not a catch me. By the way, he was having people catch him 20 years ago when he jumped off the cage. Mean Street Posse with their arms like this. No, he's taking a flip bump off the cage, Alex.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. No, this is everything that the best case scenario was that Braun yeets Shane off of something tall, and he did. And that's all that I wanted out of this match. I got that, and as a bonus, we got to go back to the Braun destroying things thing that you and I were so hyped for 4 years ago when he he threw a dummy on a stretcher off a loading dock and tipped over an ambulance and then tipped over a semi truck and then pulled down a lighting rig that was the guy we loved. And I've never thought of, hey, how do I get out of this cage or get somebody back into this cage? I'm just going to rip the cage off of the thing. That's great. That was so good. I tossed him off there. Yes, props to Shane for being absolutely willing at the age of 51 to just murder himself.
Yeah.
Just because his dad doesn't love him enough. Zach
Barber says Shane's wife, former Livewire host Marissa Mazzola, has to hate WrestleMania season.
Not as much as Renee Young hates it.
Yeah. Renee just whenever any pay-per-view is coming up, she's like,
oh man.
A pay-per-view for them this week, and here's Moxley let me just take a bump onto some light tubes with Nick Gage.
King Junie says, where was Braun Strowman in all this? He was in the cage because he didn't throw him off the top of it.
Yeah.
Anakin says, disappointed the buckets didn't have slime. So I like this, Robert. Like they tethered these little buckets of weapons to each corner. And I'm like, well, that's a cool innovation. I'm digging that. Braun got hit with a toolbox.
Yeah,
and I'm not talking about Shane McMahon just hitting him with his hand. Not that toolbox.
No.
The one in the corner.
Yeah.
I thought that was good. They deserve a lot of credit. From the minute this match was booked, a lot of people just thought, okay, Braun's going to throw him off the top of the cage, through the table, and Shane will win and get to call him stupid.
I was 100% sure that was going to happen.
Yep.
And they didn't do it, so they deserve a lot of credit. Braun looks smart, which I was not expecting coming out of this. So thumbs up all around.
That was a thing in the Road Warriors documentary that Animal would put over hard. He was like, oh, we were big bad sons of bitches, but when they would try to make us look stupid, we say no. Part of our appeal is that we are smart. We're street smart. Like, you might be able to figure out a math problem a little quicker, but you're not going to find a way to kick their ass any quicker. Mike JC says, as soon as Braun tossed Shane off and said, who's stupid now? And he went back down. I was sure we were getting a St. Valentine's Day mass. I think he meant
a massage ending.
That would be pretty
Valentine's
funny.
Day massage ending. That'd be good.
That'd be great. I'm sure Shane would appreciate that. Now, Jeremy,
Shane
what I hope
needs a massage tonight.
What I hope is that Vince ribbed Shane on the way back and said, "Fella, we just sold those 13 cameos you had left. We need you to film those."
I hope Shane got his cameos sold. Poor guy. They put him on the same level as Orton, and he sold 2, and they had to drop him down. Bless Shane. Look, I think this spot could go to anyone else on the roster, and they could make actual stars for WrestleMania instead of doing this for Shane. This man is over 50 years old, taking these bumps. Look, bless the man. All right.
I feel like a lot of other people on the roster would be like, I'm not going to take that bump.
Yes.
Sorry.
Maybe. True. Like, Buddy Murphy, Ricochet, they take that bump.
Yeah, Buddy Murphy would take that bump.
Yeah,
Buddy Murphy
I'll
would.
take it. But,
Yeah.
bless Shane McMahon for going out there and doing this dumb shit.
I completely agree. Anakin JMP says, hope Edge got a mock drop on. I don't know what that means. I don't have any clue.
No clue.
I don't know.
What that mean? I'm sorry, Anakin.
I'm out of touch.
I just do not know. My apologies. Some a super chat that I missed. We had one that said that they wished, or Andrew Lolivar said they wished Cesaro and Seth got more than 12 minutes. I think the amount of time they had was perfect for what they were going to do. I thought that was just what I don't need 15, 20 out of everybody. I don't like that was fine for me.
Yep.
Oh, Bad Bunny, Damian Priest. Lots of super chats about this. This was good stuff. A bunch of bunnies come out, and then Miz and Morrison come out, and they have to be performing this terribly, Robert. They got to perform the song badly, and they did. But this is a WrestleMania moment for these two.
And it's two men that definitely deserve it. Miz has done a lot for the company. I think he deserves as many moments as they're willing to give him. The ears were falling off. This was ridiculous. You got a bunch of bunnies without ears. They're singing "Hey Hey, Hop Hop." Not the best WrestleMania entrance, but it's special because it's Miz and Morrison.
I'm very excited to see which of these people end up headlining WrestleMania in 10 years.
Yeah.
Because
CM Punk spot.
CM Punk, Charlotte, Alexa Bliss, Sasha, like there's a whole lot of them. And DDP back in the day.
I made that joke on Twitter, and somebody responded like, Murphy, a single turd falls from Murphy's eye as he puts on his rabbit head. And I responded back, Angel Garza putting on his rabbit head. I bet the first Eddie Guerrero never had to do this kind of stuff.
Somebody said that they were sad to see Mia Yim without her mask. Little did you know. she got it.
She put on a different kind of mask.
Well, Rob Reed says props to Adam Pearce, Norman Smiley, or as I like to call him, Norman Smiley, Drew Gulak, and Brian Kendrick for training Bad Bunny. They did a good job. Roger Acevedo says Bad Bunny was so much fun to watch. His entrance was fun to watch, Alex. That was a blast too.
That was fun. That was awesome. I have a buddy who used to watch all the time and hasn't in a year. Like he watches some of the pay-per-views and that's it. So he had no idea who Bad Bunny was, and he was like, "What are they doing with this musician having this big spot?" Like, just wait. And by the end, he was completely sold on this guy. So there you go.
Mayo on Rice says, why were there one-eared bunnies? I'm going to have nightmares later. And Zach Barber says, am I overstating it to say that Bunny sold like Ricky Morton? No. He sold his ass off, Jeremy.
Yes,
I see you doing the bump.
It was Ricky Morton out there. I made that same comparison. To Bad Bunny rules. And people saying this was a Becky entrance are like, oh, it was Becky's entrance from last year.
Oh, he totally stole Becky's truck, though. He totally stole the truck.
He had the truck in his music video for Booker T. It's on the album cover. Like, this is his thing here. His scooter, Matt Riddle's got like a regular scooter. He has a whole semi truck as his scooter. Bad Bunny's great. Like, this performance, it was awesome. Little shaky on the punches, lay those things in a little bit more. Yeah. But everything else, his ring work, Bad Bunny almost WrestleMania 38 headline. Get that Tamina, Nia Jax, Roman Reigns, Rock. Get that out of here. Bunny almost.
Anakin, stand-up comedian, says, saw the Bunny and was looking for Butcher and the Blade. We should have looked for the TNT title match because for some reason Butcher was in that last night.
It was a house show, Sean. What are you mad about this?
They filmed it. They filmed it and did commentary over it.
Sure, but it was a house show. Sean's in the Skype chat at 3 a.m. like, can't believe the Butcher won the Battle Royal. He got this title shot on the house show.
Okay, you were in the chat as well at 3 a.m. So
yeah, I'm not complaining about the Butcher getting a TNT title match.
I didn't.
JD Drake got one on actual television. You're mad about the Butcher getting one.
I wasn't mad. I was just like... I was like, who all was in that? Like,
I was a nice man, very friendly guy.
He never. Well, I guess he had to win that. He never wins anything else. Give me McAfee, Bad Bunny in tomorrow's main event. I'm good on that, my friends. But he had some great offense. Now, also, I don't know if Morrison should have been bumping off of Bad Bunny headbutts. That's where it lost me a bit. But he did a Canadian Destroyer. When they did the double Falcon Arrow, I was like, put him in the hall.
Oh, popped so hard for the double Falcon Arrow.
Love it. Love it. And the crowd popped big, Alex, for Damian Priest's hot tag.
Absolutely. I said this on Twitter, and I honestly believe this. If Bad Bunny wants to do this, like stick around for a while, these guys are the Puerto Rican Enzo and Cass, but like better. Like because good. But good. And like because the thing about Enzo that we forget about is he was great at being babyface in peril. He sold his ass off, and then Big Cass had a great hot tag. Now that was all they were. Him selling and Big Ass's hot tag, big ass's hot tag. 40 and slip. And that's all it was. But these guys like have real charisma, like, and real connection to each other. I think this is an amazing act. Like, and I just thought that the whole thing went perfectly. Like, you could not have possibly foreseen Bunny doing this stuff when he showed up and like, hey, I'll just do a dive off the top rope at Royal Rumble. Like, I had no clue that he was going to get to here, and props to him for putting in the work and getting to here.
Robert, one of the biggest pops of the night might have been Bad Bunny getting the pin with like a doomsday body press.
Yeah.
But he also did a Canadian Destroyer, Robert. Bud Ryan says, Bad Bunny, big Petey Williams guy, also had some of the best work punches. Some of them. Hope Priest gets a lot of momentum out of this. Do you think Priest gets a lot of momentum out of this, Robert?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because there are people who didn't know who he was before, who know who he is now, and at the very least are looking at him and going, either that's a good-looking guy or that guy's badass, so it's going to work for him. The Canadian Destroyer, or as they called it, the Bunny Destroyer, I really enjoyed. Michael Cole, I guess, doesn't watch NXT or any other product because he acted like he's never seen a Canadian Destroyer before. Booker T had the line of the night after just saying, give him a contract, give him a contract. I thought that was great. I think Bad Bunny is awesome. He's definitely a fan. He definitely deserves a spot. And all things considered, way better than Snooki 10 years ago.
Yes, and the trend continues. Celebrities win at WrestleMania when it's not about a royal. Camilo says, historic main event. Bad Bunny is so impressive and had such a first match. First super chat. Longtime viewer, thanks for everything you all do. Well, I appreciate you. Those super chats go a long way. Get yours in, guys. If you want your question or statement read on the air, we have about 1 billion for Sasha and Bianca. You all are sounding off on that, and I can't wait to get into it. But Rob Reed says, I have to say Bad Bunny is the best celebrity to ever have a wrestling match. He put the work in. He's great. This past year, though, boy, has it raised the bar. You can't just...
Tony Khan crowns him.
Yeah, and that's good. That's good. But Shaq, McAfee, Bad Bunny, and even a few years back, D'Angelo Williams, like, after D'Angelo did it, it's like you got to bring it.
I'm gonna put him on a not a higher level, but a different one. McAfee, D'Angelo Williams, Shaquille O'Neal, all former professional athletes. Like that to me, like translates a little easier to the ring than
there you go.
Than multi-Grammy winning artist or whatever. Like
I thought he was better than Stephen Amell, and Stephen Amell was really good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there you go. Dan V says, Bad Bunny was better than pretty much every indie wrestler this week. He was so great and over-delivered. The training helped a lot, but he crushed it.
I'll co-sign that.
I've got a lot of feelings about some of the indie stuff that I saw this week. I'll say this. If next year somebody offers to give me a show like they did last year, I'm going to say no outright because I saw a lot. Like, there weren't a lot of shows, maybe a couple out of dozens, where there wasn't just something outright bad on the show.
Yeah.
Rough week for the indie wrestling.
Anakin says, shout out to DGMC for calling a Bad Bunny Canadian Destroyer 2 minutes before it happened. No one saw that coming, I bet. I love it. And Nick Thomas says, did any of you watch Talking Smack this morning? Paul Heyman and Edge promos were instant classics. Gisberto. What is it?
I'll have to check those out.
Yeah, I'll have to check those out. Gisberto usually catches me up on whatever I need to watch on that, but I've stopped watching it because once a month, a new talent that hasn't been on TV has an "oh snap" promo that everybody acts like
promo.
Yeah, they're like greatest promo, and I'm like, oh well, it's It's the third week of the month, huh? We're getting that promo.
I'll say this. I would rather every auxiliary show be canceled than to ever lose Paul Heyman on Talking Smack. It is the greatest thing this company has.
Mike JC says, I meant St. Valentine's Day Massacre, obviously. Yeah, we know, buddy. We appreciate you. Riptide says, do you guys prefer 1 5-hour show WrestleMania or 2 3-hour shows? And what do you think of the pulse of the crowd? I would much prefer 2 3-hour shows, Alex. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing is I wouldn't mind 1 5-hour show. Like they were getting up close to 7, like with the pre-show.
They were doing 7.
Yeah. That's too much. Like 1 5-hour, like 4.5. I'll okay. 2 3 hours is definitely preferable to 1 6-hour show.
Jeremy, how about you?
Yeah, the 5 hours, I'll take that. That's fine. You wanna give me like 5 to 10, 6 to 11? Sure. But like Alex said, like they were going from like 6 to 1, and that's too much.
Yeah, I'd like for them to shave a little bit of time off there. And you know what? That's not the only thing you'll be shaving. You'll be shaving your pubes with Manscaped.com, code Fightful. That's right, my friends. We're taking care of you. We're keeping you clean. We're keeping you groomed. You're in luck because Manscaped has the performance package. Jeremy Lambert down there. The performance package included in this package is the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, which is a waterproof and uses 9,000 RPMs. People are going to be pulling up to you saying, that thing got a Hemi? And you're going to go, no, but it's got 9,000 RPMs and I got no nose hairs, no ear hairs. Thanks to that 360-degree rotary dual blade system. 79% of partners polled admitted that long nose hair is a major turnoff. So why not use the best tools for the job here? That bundle, that Manscaped performance package, use that code FIGHTFUL, save 20% off and get free international shipping. It also has the Lawnmower 3.0 trimmer. It's the best trimmer on the market for your balls and your butt. Third generation trimmer features an advanced cutting edge and that skin safe technology. So you'll feel comfortable taking care of things down there. There was no, I'll say this. You weren't looking like Nick Gage when you use this perfect package.
You don't need your area down there to be a member of MDK. You don't need it. It's got to be clean. It's got to be clean.
You don't want to look like you've been busting light tubes over your wiener. Use manscaped.com code FIGHTFUL. You and your partner will get lucky, and their Lawnmower 3.0 will showcase everything that you want like no other. And also, they got the Crop Preserver. That's ball deodorant. The Crop Reviver. That's ball toner. And the perfect performance package gets you 2 free gifts, the Manscaped Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag. 20% off plus free shipping when you use the code FIGHTFUL at manscaped.com. I'm stumbling over myself. I was so excited. 20% off and free shipping with the code FIGHTFUL at manscaped.com. Check it out, my friends.
Do it for your balls.
Do it for your balls. Also, for us, send in super chats because we are at the main event. Jose Flores says, this is for Jeremy laying it in on SRS. Amazing. Hey, listen,
I'd
whatever.
like that to go directly to my PayPal then instead of...
Too bad. Speaking of Manscaped, do you have a chance to see the results of Wrestle Talk's charity stream? Nope, but I catch up on that after this. I will, though. Xanthiu says Robert O'Neill misspelled that. No, that ain't happening. Not at all.
Thursday, Robert O'Neill's Corner 3. He will review
I'll change my last name for a day if it gets more money. Go ahead.
There you go. Cyclops says when men were men, we drank beer, not juice boxes. I disagree.
Okay. Different times.
Joshua Baker says rough week for the Indies, but that Mox Barnett match humped. Yes, it did.
That I will agree with. Best match of the week. Absolutely.
Degenerate Johnny says before the Four Horsemen 4-way, all 4 need to be presented as credible main eventers. They are. All 4 of them are.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
Bailey, I mean, they all are, in my opinion. And she doesn't need to win a main event to be main event worthy. Right. You're main event worthy when you're booked in the main event.
I would think it would be a really cool thing for me is if you finally have that four horseman fatal four-way, and Sasha ends her defeated streak at Manias by winning that match. That would mean a lot to me in that moment as well.
I like that.
Well, here we are, the main event of WrestleMania, and boy, do we have a lot of people sounding off on this. Mike JC says, happy for Sasha and Bianca. Sasha's first singles match at Mania, arguably her best Mania performance despite being 0-6. Bianca killed it and is a star. Bezo Banks says, black women really shake the world. Nothing can describe how big this is for us people of color. Best Mania main event since 31, and I'm sticking by that. This is an important match. It is a big match, and I thought it was a goddamn perfect match.
God, it's so good.
Anytime in this situation, you're like, oh, you hope everything goes well. This went more than well. Robert, I think this was immediately one of my favorite WrestleMania main event matches that I have ever seen. It was emotional. It told a great story. They had a person who I'd say Sasha's probably outweighed by Bianca by like 30 pounds.
Yeah. I want to get this out of the way. The production team did fabulous on the package before the match. They made you forget that the build to this thing absolutely sucked. They did their part. Them coming in and immediately crying had to have everybody in their feels. This match was perfect. I mean, everything you could have wanted and more. The KOD is still a solid finisher. Sasha doesn't get a full bank statement on, so that's still protected. This was everything that a WrestleMania main event should be, and this should have been from the beginning. They're two of the best athletes. They were presented that way. This felt like an emotional, sporting main event. This was what wrestling should be. And yeah, they should have headlined from minute one. It shouldn't have been saved until last night because they earned it and they are that good.
They shouldn't have been trying to coexist or any shit like that. But this is perfect. And I mentioned Sasha being outweighed because it ain't easy for someone with that size discrepancy to play a heel. And they did it, Alex. She was pulling the hair the whole match and using it as a weapon. And then that weapon ended up coming back to haunt her. Well, on Sasha's side, the hair played such an integral role in this match throughout the entire thing. She wrapped up the bank statement on Bianca with the hair. Bianca used it to her advantage, but there could not have been a better finish than that sound coming from that hair whip and leading to that series.
Yeah. A couple of things. Bianca's naked, raw emotion before the match, like that, she almost had me start going because like she could tell she knew what it was, and Sasha knew what it was, but Sasha wasn't allowed to get emotional because she had to be the toughest nails heel. That was all really
couldn't
good.
Be the rookie, had to act like she's been there before.
Exactly. Now, you have somebody like Bianca Belair who is just so talented, like can do anything you ask her to in the ring at all, and is willing to do whatever to make it be the best match possible. In there with a master storyteller. That's what Sasha Banks is. Like in her matches, she always finds little things that she does that like help the story of the match like progress. Like the thing, like I'll never forget her in the bank statement, Bayley in the bank statement, and her stomping on Bayley's already injured hand and going after that hand over and over and over again in those Bayley matches. And this was perfect. She's like, I'm going to use that hair. That hair is a liability. You have a liability I'm going to exploit. And Bianca fighting back from it, and finally using that not as a liability, as a weapon on her behalf to end the match was perfect. Like these two were so great. The first 3 years ago, Bianca Belair picked up Candice LeRae from the ground in a bicep curl and then pressed her over her head and threw her out of the ring. And I said, this woman is the future of wrestling. Like I had the tweet, I sent it out, I retweeted it tonight. Like I have been on this woman for 3 years. I am so happy for her. They brought her up a year ago and didn't do anything with her for months. They finally decided to push her. This is a star. I can't express how great it is that she is at the top now. It's so good for her.
That suicide dive into the press slam spot. Michael Bunch says, everybody in my house popped huge when Bianca carried Sasha up the ring steps.
Jesus.
It was so perfect. It was so perfect. Ultra Real says, hearing Hogan get booed versus seeing the reaction of Sasha Bianca is poetic to say the least. So this match in general was poetic. They were stiff. They weren't going to give anybody any reason to say, oh, that didn't look good. The knees were tough, whether it's getting the knees up or throwing the knees. The 450s, it was crisp. That Del Rio spot that I hate so much. Of course, Sasha Banks made sense of it. Mm-hmm. She held on. She stayed. She gave you a reason to why Bianca couldn't get out of it. Yep. And then the moment Bianca could get out of it, Jeremy, she did get out of it.
Yeah, I was ready for you to rant against that because Bianca held herself out up there, and I was like, oh no. But then when she moved, I was like, oh, so she baited her essentially. Yes. So it makes sense when you do it like that, and you don't just hold yourself up there to get stomped on. I loved this match. I really did. First off, credit to the video package team because they realized that Reginald shit was shit. And
it wasn't in there at all.
No, they just completely
took it out entirely.
Yeah. They made this match feel so much more important than if you'd been watching the weekly television. Because the weekly television has not done this match justice of what we thought it was going to be and what it ended up being. But this video package did. The hair, people who have watched the SmackDown reviews, Sean, I've been waiting for Bianca to use that hair as a weapon again since she's been called up to the main roster. She hasn't. And now I'm kind of glad she hasn't because when she did it here, not only did she do it here, I was a big fan of it, but it all tied in because Sasha was countering so much by going after Bianca's hair. So for her to use it as a weapon leading into the finish, and yeah, that welt on her side looked nasty.
What a great visual.
Yes, that's why she should use that damn weapon. Use that damn hair as a weapon because it does some damage. But it was. Oh, I love this match. The emotion on their face beforehand, especially Bianca. Like Alex said, like Sasha had to reel it in a little bit, but you could tell. You could tell it was getting to her. So just so good, so good.
Speaking of the emotion, I've seen a video, and Nerd Guru says, if you haven't seen the video, Sasha crawling up the ramp off camera, just watch it when I tell you I cried. It's a video of her getting off camera, selling but smiling. She knew she had achieved something special. Mm-hmm. This match in WWE in this space is about as perfect as it gets. The only way it could have been better for me is if they had built this worth of shit. They fumbled the build, and these two women did every single thing they could to make this as good as possible.
But Sean, get John Alba out of here.
Thanks to John Alba. He's been tarped off. He didn't send a super chat big enough to even write words.
Not unless he got me that picture with Virgil. They're sending money. Give me the picture with Virgil, John Alba. Your point, Sean, the build sucked. People that watch this event, they're going to see that video package, and they're going to be like, oh, man, this is amazing. Like, this is great stuff. They ain't watching that weekly stuff. So
sure.
In history, it'll have its rightful place in history.
We've got a bunch of super chats about this. Dan V says, I'd argue it's a top 5 Mania main event. Footage is on Twitter now of Sasha smiling. If anybody says that, I'm not going to deny that whatsoever. This is one of my favorite matches I've seen in recent memory.
Yeah.
Riptide says, great coverage, Dong, Lord, and crew. See you night, too. We can all sleep peacefully now that Shatner's in the Hall of Fame. He is really great. And Roger appreciates us. Excited for night, too. Well, you know what? We've got a bunch of super chats about this match. Rage Lax says, this match was a great main event with Bianca and Banks. Weird how they cut out the entirety of the Can They Coexist storyline. It's almost like, Robert, they didn't need to do it at all.
Yeah, it does set a dangerous precedent of, hey, you don't need to watch week-to-week television, and the four of us all have to watch week-to-week television for our jobs, and that sucks. But
less than ever before.
That is true.
A year and a half ago, me, Jeremy, and I think it was Carlos at the time, we're all watching Raw, doing stories from it. Now it's like one person. That's it.
Yep.
So good.
The weekly TV does need to be fixed. I'll say that. But This video package was great. This match was great. Their entrances felt special. The crowd came alive. That's another thing, because the crowd here really showed you when something was genuinely over. They popped for Bad Bunny, they popped for the opener, and they popped for this. This felt real. This felt special.
By the way, guys, if you're saying we missed your super chat, you need to tell us what the super chat is, not that we missed it. But yeah, like we got Zach Barber saying, seeing Bianca's dad celebrate broke me.
Oh, so good.
That was a great shot too. That was a great shot. And J.K. Schwal says, sucks they went off the air before Montez came out. How would you all feel about that? Like, Alex, do you think that should be a moment of her own, or do you think that it should be, well, we know who she's married to. They've mentioned it on TV before.
Yeah, they did a whole thing about it in the documentary about her. I think they've put it on other platforms. They are married. They love each other very much. They're on the same show. Like, it would be a nice thing. They didn't have to do it. I'm not saying I missed it, but because I'm sure it's going to be on all the highlight videos when they do a whole documentary about this match and the result of it. They're going to have that footage there. So I'm not that upset about it now.
Just to clarify, I've not missed any super chats from this match. We still have a bunch. But if you're saying I missed a super chat, you need to tell me what it is, not that I missed it, just so you guys know. Anakin says Indiana Jones is jealous of that crack whip.
Mm-hmm.
And Brandon Charles Powell says, Sasha pulling on Bianca's hair throughout the match. Finally, Bianca's all, quit pulling my hair, and whip. It was great. It's like when you see a kitten pawing at an older cat and then stop it.
The thing is it's such wonderful, simple storytelling that they never do anymore. I'm doing this. You're gonna have to fight against me doing it, and finally, me doing it one last time backfires and results in me losing. That's a thing they used to do all the time. They never do it that simple and that tight anymore. It's perfect.
Colt Badeau says, would you take a Walter chop or a Bianca hair whip? Ooh, I'd say the hair whip.
I think
more surface area with Walter's hand, legitimately.
I think Walter could stop my heart if he hit me in the right spot. The hair whip would hurt, but I think I'd survive.
I'm going hair whip.
Rob Reed says, why does Michael Cole go out of his way to almost ruin great moments? He did not mean to miss the call there. He did not go out of his way to do that at all. And the Hebekin says, Bianca with the whip heard round the world. It was the best she's ever done, Jeremy.
It was so good. And like I said, I've been waiting for this. I'm glad they held it off and did it here. I still hope she used it a little bit more moving forward, but it felt so much more special that she used it here. And it felt more special because they actually told a story with the hair throughout the match. And it's not just, hey, I haven't used this in a while. Let me break it out right now. Mm-hmm. So just tremendous. And like Alex said, they just don't do that stuff anymore. But Sasha Banks typically finds a way to do this stuff.
Yeah, Jamie Miles says, are you surprised as I am that Sasha didn't win and is 0-6 at Mania while Bayley and Becky each have 2 wins and Charlotte 3? Well, the way that I looked at this coming in, Robert, was if they want to tell a story about that, they can now. And there's meat on the bone there. It's just there was meat on the bone to Sasha has never successfully defended a title as well, and they didn't really play that up. It was a throwaway line in a rematch with Bayley that was rushed.
Right. I think overall, I want to say I'm surprised this show didn't go off the air with the 2 women embracing, like kind of Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar style. I thought that's how it would have gone off the air. This story was perfect. There's more here. There will be a hair match. There will be an Iron Man match. Like, there's so much more meat on this bone, and we haven't seen the last of these 2 women.
Tremaine says, Sean, if you remember, I told you my first memory was Eddie spraying Big Show with poop. Lately, I was drifting away from wrestling. Seeing Bianca crying before the match brought me back in a major way. Buddy, let me tell you, those are 2 very categorically different things. If that doesn't tell you wrestling is a variety show, I don't know what does. Jamie says, the whip reminded me of the one Bianca did to Shayna. All things considered, I mean, this is the one that stands out above all. The sound and the moment, it goes above and beyond, Alex.
Oh, by far. This is the other thing about Bianca with her. Somebody did a wonderful post on Twitter. Like, it's so true that the 2 women who main evented WrestleMania and won are the two women who never got their due in NXT and probably really should have, Becky and Bianca. Like Bianca was ready in NXT over and over and over again, and they kept on knocking her back down, and it didn't make sense to me at the time. It still doesn't, but I'm so glad that now if you've been watching her for years, it's so satisfying for her to finally get her moment. This moment in WrestleMania, that's huge.
Guys, there's still time to get your super chats in. Dev says, I wouldn't mind seeing Sasha and Bianca hot potato the title like Sasha and Charlotte did. That was one of my favorite periods of the brand split era of Raw, was Falls Count Anywhere, all kinds of stuff like that. But I think right now you need to give Bianca good stories. What WWE does is they give you the moment and then it gets real lazy. Mm-hmm. It gets, Becky's going to face Lacey 3 times. We're good there. Tay Boogie says Sasha Banks is the greatest female wrestler in the world outside of Japan. I'll die on this hill. Love that match. You might not need to die on that hill. You might be celebrating on top of that hill with a bunch of your friends having a picnic.
Yep.
I think it's a great take. Hannah says, I love this main event so much. These women are amazing, and Bianca at the start and end of the match really hit me in the feels. Perfect. That's what wrestling's supposed to do to you, Jeremy. It's supposed to make you feel something. That way you're not a sarcastic little troll all the time, eating Snickers and drinking juicy juice.
It is it's Sun Cup, all natural juice. It's not juicy juice, all right? No, that is the best wrestling. That's why I always say, like, my favorite matches are Kofi and Bryan and New Day and Usos Hell in a Cell. Like, are those the 5-star classic matches and stuff? Probably not, but like those matches actually made me feel something, just like this match.
The detractors of Sour Graps say that I hate everything. I am chasing the dragon. I want wrestling to make me feel like this all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rob Walker says, amazing main event. Where do you see Sasha going from here? Do you think Sasha takes time off or potential Money in the Bank winner? We had a similar super chat from Mark Board that said, thought the main event was great. Any idea if Banks is taking time off? If not, where do you think they go with her? Too soon to go back to Bayley.
She would be a great Money in the Bank winner.
She would
use that thing when she needed to. Like, it would be great.
I think it'd be really good to do that and weave her in and out of, like, her try to make Bianca's life hell without actually challenging for her while Bianca's doing stuff with everybody else. Like, you've just got Sasha there being like, you ruined my special night. You ruined my special moment. I'm going to ruin your life. I'm going to make this a living hell for you. I think that would be a good touch. Says Sasha is definitely in the Mount Rushmore for WWE women. She sure is. She absolutely is.
Absolutely
She's
is.
the best female worker in WWE history.
She might be Lincoln Memorial. She might just stand there by herself. Like, she's that good.
Mm-hmm.
Keshawn Webley says, Black History was made. So proud. Yes, it was. KK says, Bianca, amazing moment. Tears of joy.
Yeah.
I stood up and cheered. I was so excited.
Yeah, absolutely.
Carter Bramelli says, fantastic show. Where would you guys put Bianca and Sasha in comparison of other WrestleMania main events? Robert?
I would put it, for the modern era, for like the last 10 years, it's right up there in the top 5. For the overall, it's still in the conversation, but definitely one of the best in modern history.
I'm putting it top 5 straight out of the gate. Jeremy, how about you?
WrestleMania 30 is always going to have a special spot for me since I was there. And that the Bryan match, again, we go back to feelings. Like, that was a match that made me feel something. Let's see what else is there main event wise. Like, I'm not as high as like Austin Rock as it was a great main event, WrestleMania 7, but it might be top 5. My memory is not good on this stuff, but if you say top 5, like I don't know if I'd argue.
Alex?
I'd be really hard pressed to find a one-on-one match that's a main event that I would put up here with this, because Bryan and Orton and Batista, that was a certain kind of story, but it was different than this.
Taker and Shawn, I would probably put up.
Yes,
obviously,
Taker and Shawn, that to me, I feel like that's like it's on such a completely different level because of all the Taker stuff surrounding it. Also, like Brock versus Roman with Seth cashing in, because the cash in is such a moment in and of itself. I feel like that kind of elevates the match entirely, but it was a great main event. But for me, this, like, it's really hard for me to think of something that's like absolutely 100% better than this.
And so many of the matches and moments, Bret Hart and Austin, not a main event.
Yeah, that was the other thing I was thinking of, is like the matches I really like weren't actually the main event.
Bret and Owen, not a main event.
Yeah.
Savage Steamboat, not a main event. The ladder matches and all that stuff. Razor and Shawn, also not a main event. WrestleMania X7, the TLC, Shawn Michaels and Kurt Angle, Undertaker, Triple H. Like, these weren't main events. Even big moments like Michaels Flair and Hogan Rock, not main events. Pretty wild to think. So they really delivered. Bezo Banks says, Sean, I'm going to DM you. Still, someone took of Mandy slipping on the ramp. Is the funniest thing I've seen. That's so sad. I hate it. Yeah. It makes me sad. Super sick Bud Ryan says, all 4 of you look great. Well, it's nice. Don't come in here and lie. You can give us your money, but don't lie. Pop for Bianca. Pop for Bianca's dad falling over the barricade. I didn't see that.
Oh yeah, like he jumped so high that he wanted to rush into the he wanted to jump the barricade and run in and give his daughter a hug, and he thought better of it at the very last minute.
And Zach Barber says, glad the Stephanie cliffhanger rumor was false. I don't know what that is. And if you don't read it on Fightful, then there's probably
I'll tell you what it is, Sean Ross Sapp.
What is it?
When Stephanie was on Bill Simmons' podcast, they were talking, Bill Simmons was like, so the cliffhanger for night 1 is Bianca and Sasha. And Stephanie just said yes, essentially confirming it was the main event, because earlier on the interview, she said Bianca and Sasha are going to headline. That is the only cliffhanger and Stephanie that I know of. If it's not from that, then I don't know. And Sean's right. It's false.
That's not a cliffhanger, Bill Simmons. That's the end of the night. That's not a cliffhanger.
Yeah. If you hear of rumors and it's not reported on Fightful, it's probably something we vetted and just aren't running. Josh says, I'll admit I didn't get the hype for Sasha and Balor until this week. Boy, was I wrong. They had incredible matches. Tune77 says, Sasha isn't just the best women's wrestler. She's the best wrestler, period. I'll fight this fight forever. I mean, wouldn't argue with you. She's one of my favorite performers to ever watch, period.
Yeah. Yep.
Nerd Guru says, Alex just wrote a great Bianca-Becky feud, with the story being the ones who didn't get their due in NXT, but won their first 2 main events. I mean, yeah. And I think we said this, Mount Rushmore, but Sasha has to film The Mandalorian. Agreed, Jeremy. I don't think that's as time intensive considering her role as you guys. Like, she ain't going to be on set for like a month.
She didn't really take time off last time. Like, if she was absent, it was barely noticeable. So I don't think.
I'm going to echo what Sean said on the media call, Shawn Michaels. God, they think you drop the fall and you're out of here. I think Sasha's probably around helping keep the women's division afloat for the next few months.
Samoa Joe, more like Samoa Poncho. Guys, don't ask me if I saw your super chat. Tell me what it was. Zach Barber says, Becky, Charlotte, Ronda with Bex winning was great. And Throwback says, chaotic wrestling must be ecstatic for their alumni because Banks and Kofi were amazing tonight. And Banks was wonderful. We're getting towards the end of these. Ricardo Holt says, glad Bianca got her shit together after crying and put on a damn banger. It was great and emotional. Same as Cesaro. It showed a range of emotions, and that's what I thought was the best. Dev says, never get to catch these live, but wanted to send some love from the gear to the character to the work. Sasha Banks is the GOAT. I mean, the only thing I could say is her promos could leave a little bit to be desired, but I kind of like cartoon villain Sasha Banks as well. Like, Jeremy knows that pops me. Doesn't as much him when he's got to cover all of her interviews, but
she's great as a heel. I have no problem with like her heel promos. It's her babyface promos where she just repeats that she's the boss, the blueprint, the gold standard, the green money. That I'm like, all right, I get it, cool.
Yeah. But as far as in-ring work and again, storytelling-wise, one of my favorite matches of the past few years is her and Becky in Hell in a Cell. Like, that is really underrated with all the stuff they came up with and the stories they told in that match. She's great whenever she gets in the ring.
Yes.
M. Scott asked me who put together the match. I don't know. I will find out. Shanika says, Sasha is the GOAT, and I love her, but I've been rooting for Bianca since the first time I saw her on NXT. Many tears were shed tonight. Perfect finish. Bianca is the kind of star that transcends, and you build around her, and you make other people around her. Like Rock and Austin were big stars, and it's like, oh, okay, now you can put Mick Foley and Triple H and Kurt Angle and all these people around them and make them big stars. M. Scott says, longtime watcher, love the shows. Thank you, guys. But that was the who put together Sasha and Bianca. I'll find out. I will. Nerd Guru says Becky and Sasha were in the Mania 34 pre-show battle royal. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
3 years later, they're both main eventers, always the underrated ones, and here we are. Well, they earned it. They both earned it big time. Anakin said, overall, night one better than last year. Takeover night one better than tonight, but tonight was still great. I mean, I loved them both separately. I mean, night one of this was better than almost any night of WrestleMania I've seen in a long, long time. Nerd Guru says this feels like this doesn't have anything to do with Rhea getting a win. I don't think that means anything. No. And if I were them, Alex, I would lean into two very fresh faces.
Absolutely.
Because they've ran the other stuff into the dirt.
Right. We know the four horsewomen are big stars. We know Asuka is a living legend at this point. Now you have an opportunity to make two new ones, and the same weekend. That would be a huge deal. Like to have two brand new, fresh new faces, one on SmackDown and one on Raw, leading the charge in 2021. That's an amazing gift you've been given to do that. To not do it, it seems like just man.
Hannah says Bianca on this post show, she's so emotional, it's so pure. She deserves this. She held the belt upside down twice and yelled, I got to get used to this. Can't believe this is her first title. I Am Malucha says, last year's silent for Black Lives Matters for WWE broke my heart. Fast forward to tonight. Watching Bobby and Bianca stand tall was tear-inducing. The culture and struggle manifesting into greatness. Not WWE booking. Loved it. Well-deserved. There's some stuff I can't really put out there, but there were some situations that probably would have ruffled some feathers if I could have gotten them on record in regards to that. And then some of these wrestlers went up to Triple H and they said, this is important to me. This is going to be on our gear. And I can tell you that Triple H said to those wrestlers, if you get any heat for it, I'll take the heat for it. So that made me gain a lot of respect for him in that regard. And then after that, it was like nothing was an issue anywhere with that stuff, as far as I know. We have some non-Bianca and Sasha super chat still. Throwback says, Miz and Morrison was Looney Tunes tonight. Bad Bunny was the Bugs Bunny character tonight, outperforming. Miz and Morrison were Fudd and Daffy. What a match. I like that comparison an awful lot. Also, I'm excited for Space Jam.
Yes.
It looks good, actually. I'm not mad at it.
Havri Duncan says, first Andre Battle Royal to not have Heath Slater, RIP. Well, that's why I didn't get on this main show. They didn't have Heath.
Yeah. No Heath, no heat. No Heath, no heat.
That's right.
Michael Branson says, is it weird I want Omos versus Walter now? I don't think that'd be a great match, but I think that Walter would make it entertaining.
Yeah, Walter.
Walter would make it entertaining. Walter can pretty much do anything at this point.
Oh, gosh. Flame Inc. says, because I asked somebody if they made a 1K donation on Wrestle Talk's charity stream, I'd give them the great O'Shawn costume. And 2 people did. And Hannah says you owe someone that great O'Shawn from the Wrestle Talk. Well, it sounds like 2 people got to fight for it.
There we go. Let's do that.
That's the way we do it. And you know what? They can fight for it on twitch.tv/Fightful Gaming, which we're going to talk a little bit more about in a second. Frank Aguilera says, Mr. Ass Bob Lash needs to win the Booty Pro title.
We're booking. Stick with us. We got plans for Mr. Ass and Mrs. Hole. All right, we're gonna get there.
Bob Green says, woke up at 6 a.m. UK. Glad to catch you live for once. I'm so glad. We've got 1,500 of you live right now. It means so much to me that you guys even care. If you haven't checked it out, Facebook.com/Fightful Online, Instagram.com/Fightful Online. We have an MMA channel as well. I'll be doing a watch along of this Jake Paul horse shit next weekend, as well as the great UFC card later this month. Shaquille Majuri does a lot of great content at YouTube.com/Fightful MMA. Really crossover stuff that you guys will like. We've got another super chat. Oh, from John Alba. I got put in a chokehold, a sharpshooter, and tarped off WrestleMania in a 3-hour span. The greatest night in the history of our sport. It's hard to disagree with that. Chris Polhill says, what's your match of the night? Oh, Bianca Sasha. Alex?
Yeah, I honestly, after Cesaro and Seth went out there, I was like, that's match of the weekend, kids. Nope. No, Bianca and Sasha, like an hour later, were like, "We got this. Thank you." And this is it, man.
Absolutely, the girls.
Aunt Moose says next year 4 horsewomen for the title and Bianca versus Rhea for the other is needed. And then JJ Lee says Rhea and Bianca might end up on night 2 on the apron with the belts. Like, that'd be a kind of a cool little touch.
That'd be a nice little callback. Yeah.
Rhea is a heel now, though.
That's true.
Antiquated term.
Yeah, but as far as 4 horsewomen for the title, it's AT&T Stadium, so they're going to try to get the Rock and Roman, and they should try to get Rock and Roman.
Mm-hmm.
I would maybe say let's wait a year and do it in LA. Like do either one of them. You could swap them. You could do Rock and Roman in LA and have it main event.
Mm-hmm.
But that next year, Robert, they want to say, "Oh my God, we did 100,000 after the pandemic."
Whatever they said at 32, they want to get there or top it.
Yeah. Whatever number they lied about a few years ago, they want to lie about a bigger number this year.
That's right.
Guys, we have exclusive features over on Fightful all the time. Check them out. Robert DeFelice recently did an interview with Gregory Iron, who was cheeks out with Virgil this week. I don't know, man. Kind of wish you would have interviewed him after that, Robert, but there's plenty of time. But we've also got lots of content over at twitch.tv/Fightful Gaming. That has been Jeremy's project. And over there, people have submitted some questions as well. So hit us with them, Jeremy.
Not just questions, Sean. We got a lot going on.
Comments,
questions.
Tell me, did you write them down? Did you
I did. I've got them all right here. I got to catch up because there's so many, Sean.
Okay.
All right. So we got a bunch of follows. I appreciate all the new follows. Let me shout you guys out here. JJ's giving out bits, the head of Distraction PR, giving out all these bits here. Follows JPRW23, Brucey Beats, Sean Mack, Trini Rickster X, D Jiggy Mango Pop, Repact, Nowhere to Fly To, Poe SE1, GG or JJIIIIO17.
They followers. They didn't even give us money.
Look, Sean, you got to shout these people out when they follow, all right, man? We work a little bit
on the
differently
Mania stream.
Zippo CL, all thank you for the follow.
Everybody gets on the Mania card, Jeremy.
Our buddy, Fabulous D Delicious. I always screw that up. I'm sorry, Darnell. Gifted a tier 1 sub to Ms. Fit 2, Spanky Spankerton, resubbing.
I always thought it was like D-Nelicious, like or Darnellicious, like
Darnellicious. I know, but I just messed it up. Spanky Spankerton says I had to resub. Awesome channel, especially on Impact nights. Hey, doing the Impact watch-alongs on Thursday from now on. Throwback, gifting the tier 1 sub to Zigalicious26. More followers just coming in right now this minute.
Where are the comments?
Alex Wompton for the follow. Adam Heb for the follow. Thank you.
What are we doing?
You want the comments, Sean? You want the comments?
I want the comments and the questions. I don't care about the people that follow us.
Look, Sean, it works differently on Twitch. All right.
We're not. This is additional. This is extra. The followers are in the Andre Battle Royal.
This is what we gotta do, Sean. I'm sorry you don't understand how Twitch works, and you gotta message me every time you want to try to use it. I'm trying to teach you right now. Let me run the offense, Sean Ross Sapp. Let me run the offense.
You're running the offense and shooting about 29% from the field.
JJ says, bits for fun night of wrestling. My favorite big star, Jeremy. Thanks you. A bunch from JJ. Embrace the vision with our leader, Jeremy. Hashtag point God. Hashtag Messiah. Throwback with the bits says, this is an awesome show. Bad Bunny. Surprise me. Keep killing it, guys. The bits are the money, Sean, just to let you know. All right.
Oh, I know. Like Daniel Brewer said, hey guys, long time watcher, first time caller. What are y'all looking forward to tomorrow night? Hopefully, ding dong, hello.
And what we know, that main event is going to kick all kinds of ass.
The triple threat and Rio winning. That's what I'm looking forward to.
And another person who sent actual human dollars, Danhausen would love him. Frank Aguilera says, for me, tonight was made so much better by all the coverage Fightful's done leading up to it. I've loved all the shows. Big shout out to Gisberto Guzzo, who is not on this stream. We give Robert and Jeremy their flowers all the time, but Ryan Cook covering it as well. Kyler James doing the social media. But there you go. Let's hit some more bits.
More bits. Our guy JJ says Buster Bunny busted out one hell of a Canadian destroyer. Like, if you don't get the Buster Bunny reference, keep following us on twitch.tv/Fightful Gaming. Also says, hope there's a hot tub on top of the truck. Funny how the video package for Sasha and Belair had zero mention of coexisting, was all about who's the better wrestler. Match is absolutely fantastic. Good luck night 2 topping that one. Ripley and Belair can be females, Rock and Austin, 2 gigantic stars, same era, up to WWE, not screwing it up. Also says, thank you, Fightful, for night 1. My first Mania with you guys. I cannot thank you enough. Thank you and praise you all enough. Thank you, JJ. JJ,
yeah, thank you, JJ is so good to us. JJ is always putting us over, and I agree. I think that they need to create some mega stars in the women's division, and tether a couple on each brand at least, and build stars around them.
Yeah.
That's
the bits.
That's the bits. Kiss my
2K God 4. Thanks for the follow, 2K God 4.
What he do? The follows?
He just followed.
If you praise them for following, Sean, the money comes later. You gotta play the game.
You get them in with the follows,
also,
and then they
legitimately, I'll praise this man right here.
Yeah.
He has been gifting subs left and right. Throwback is also very good to us.
Yes.
And he sends Shroot bucks. That's what Jeremy's just got a pocket full of them. You just know he does. Oh my gosh. JJ Lee says, love them saving the whip for the finish. I was so happy to see 2 black women make history, and for my daughter to see herself. I love that it was mentioned right off the top. You got to mention it. It is history. It shouldn't have taken this long. It should have happened a long time ago.
Yep.
Robert, tell the people where they can find you. You'll be
Find
here
me right
tomorrow
there
night.
on Twitter at DudeFelice. I will be here tomorrow night and every day of the week on Fightful.com with these fine gentlemen breaking all the news in the world of wrestling.
Alex Pawlowski, do you think they'll put Charlotte in the match tomorrow?
No.
I kind of wish they would. Tell the people where they can find you.
They can find me at Alex Sourgraps on Twitter, and they can find me right back here tomorrow talking about night 2 of WrestleMania, and then on Tuesday talking about NXT for an hour on the regular YouTube, and then over on Fightful Select for 2 hours talking about Raw because I'm crazy.
Jeremy Lambert will not be on this show tomorrow, but I'm sure you'll get his night 2 thoughts somewhere. Ray Callan said, throwback is great to me, Bane Anakin, though. Okay, he'll be Banakin. That's what we'll call him. But Jeremy, they can find you all over the place. You're rarely not on screen, but tell the people where they can follow you.
Tomorrow, there's an embargo on my Fiend and Randy Orton takes because that is what people want.
That's why you're doing this. I should have known. You're a piece of shit. You're such a trash fire.
Wow.
Oh.
Do you see how this man treats me? Do you hear what he just called me?
You super kicked a picture of yourself pretending to be the Fiend.
Yeah.
I should have known. Oh, I should have known you were going to make these dweebs.
Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern, The Distraction, a huge show. I have first we got Robert O'Neill's Corner 3. We have my takes on Fiend and Orton. We have a special pregnancy correspondent on our show on Thursday.
Is Alex the future marriage correspondent?
It's a big show. You know where to find me. Sean Rossap. I'm in the gym every day getting the shots up.
Oh my God. I think there was a super chat that put you over too that I ignored like twice. Apologies. Guys. I know this show was longer than usual. Tomorrow will not be as long as this. There was a lot to kind of add into this. And I get the feeling we're going to be talking about another weather delay tomorrow, my friends. Please, if you're watching this, leave a thumbs up. Please subscribe. Check out Fightful.com, FightfulWrestling.com. I don't do these co-streams often. If you guys like them, oh, God damn it.
My guy.
How can I even go ahead? But if this is your first time here, we do post Raw with Denise Salcedo, post NXT with Alex Pawlowski, post AEW with Robert, and hopefully Alex a lot. The Impact watch along streams on Twitch, post SmackDown, me and Jeremy. If you like whatever this has been, you'll like that. And in addition to that, I think we have the best weekly news show there is. The Listen Ya Boy with myself and Jimmy Van every Wednesday afternoon. And then you got the distraction on Thursdays too.
The best weekly pro wrestling show that there is.
So when we come along and do this great wrestling news show and gain this credibility, Jeremy and Joe are like, how can we?
We're outdrawing Impact stars, Sean Ross Sapp. We should be on Impact. We bring the numbers for them. Needle movers, myself and Joseph Holbert.
Oh my God. Until next time, guys, we're out.